Hey guys, welcome back to Talking with Tyler. And on today's podcast, I wanted to talk about the New York Jets offseason so far. They're already like big time buyers this free agency. They have been spenders, but for the last couple of weeks they haven't really done anything. The last move was March 14th, and I wanted to dissect into each one of these new players that the Jets picked up. And for day one, it was February 26th, bringing in defensive tackle Devondre Sweat from the Titans in exchange for defensive end Jermaine Johnson. And all I got to say is I am a huge fan of this move. This guy is a beast getting in through the line. He busts through his way through the offensive line on the defensive side of things. And he really he's a big physical man. He could just roll right past, pick up the fumble. He has a stiff arm move that everybody's been talking about. I just think with his size and athleticism, I think he's going to be a really scary player to watch this year for the New York Jets on the defensive line. I mean, they did lose to Jermaine Johnson, but I think this is a big upgrade for the Jets here, and I could definitely see him working for a spot on the starting line because this was a line that struggled mightily last year. They didn't get a lot of pressures on the quarterback, and I think this guy can definitely change things for the Jets. Now, for March 9th was Minkah Fitzpatrick, safety from the Dolphins, in exchange for the 2026 7th-round pick that the Jets had from the Chargers. And wow, what a move the Jets made here. Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, a vet, just what the Jets needed here, coming on day two of the free agency, really day one, because I think that's when March 9th was the day free agency opened. But the real second move of the Jets offseason, and this is a guy that's going to help the Jets defense in many ways. I think he gets his hands on a lot of balls. I think he's very good when it comes down to catching interceptions. Jets didn't have a single interception last year. 6 interceptions in 22 that Minkah Fitzpatrick had. I think he's going to be a guy that to watch out for when it comes down to intercepting the ball. I think he can really compete with some of these top wide receivers. I think he doesn't let wide receivers really run for a lot of yards. I think he's going to keep the ball in front, and with his speed, I think he's going to be someone that will help the Jets in many ways. Loving the move here for the Jets. Now, for defensive end, Joseph Ossai, 3-year deal, $36 million. That includes $22.5 million fully guaranteed. And another defensive end. The Jets have shown that they want to focus mostly on their defense this year. Defense that struggled. They gave up a lot of points last year. It was like 30, 30, 30, basically like that. And I just did not see a game where the Jets battled on that side of the ball. And this is a guy with back-to-back seasons with the Bengals, with 5 sacks. I think he's going to be a guy that will compete for a spot. But honestly, I think there's other guys that are better than him on the lineup right now. I think solid bench player, though. I think Jets were just trying to get some new guys involved. I think decent move for the Jets here. And now for defensive line, Kingsley Enagbare, 1-year, $10 million deal. Another guy with big-time size, 6'4", 258 pounds. I think just adding more size onto this depth chart will help them in many ways, and that's something that they definitely have to continue to get as the offseason progresses. Now, for linebacker, Demario Davis coming back to New York, 2-year, $22 million deal that includes $15 million guaranteed. This guy is 37 years old, 15th NFL season coming his way, and honestly, this guy does it all. I think he's pretty much a playmaker when it comes down to the defensive side of things. I think he can teach some new players. I know the Jets lost Sauce Gardner last year. I think just like this whole defensive line is going to be new. I think he's going to be able to teach some of these younger guys. I don't think Davis is going to be here for much longer. I think they have to focus on getting guys in the draft that will help in the future. And just, I think he's a great vet for the Jets to have. And now for defensive tackle, David Onyemata, 1 year, $10.5 million deal worth up to $9.65 million guaranteed. And this is a guy coming out of Canada, entering his 11th season, another vet. I think the Jets are just trying to focus on getting vets, and I'm all for it. I think they have to get guys like vets, teaching some of the younger guys, like I mentioned before. So just another solid move here for the Jets. I think they're just trying to get some competition going here for the offseason spots. It's going to be definitely interesting to watch. And now another move, fullback Andrew Beck is re-signing a 1 year guaranteed deal for $1.5 million. And I have nothing but thoughts for this guy. I think he's a very talented player, fullback, not a really common position for the NFL, but I think anytime he's put into the game, I think he does a job. I think last year we saw him catch a pass, run a pass for a first down. I think he does a lot of what he's asked for, and I think he's going to be a big playmaker, blocking wise, catching wise. I think he's going to be really useful when the Jets are in short distance near the goal line and they need a little tush push or something. I think he's going to be a very useful player for the Jets. Now, safety Dean Belton at 1 year, up to $6 million. Giants second with 100 tackle total last season, and nothing but a tackler machine for the Giants last season. And I think that's definitely what the Jets need, because last year it was brutal when it came down to wide receivers catching the ball. The Jets cannot tackle for anything, and Dane Belton will definitely fix things in that spot, and that's all what the Jets need. And now on to March 10th, the Jets signed quarterback Geno Smith is returning to the New York Jets. 2026 7th-round pick coming the Jets' way also in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. 2013 was his last season he played with the Jets. And I was not a huge fan of this move when it first happened, but thinking about it more and more now, I think you got to give this guy a chance. I think he struggled with the Raiders last season, only 3 wins coming from them, and threw a lot of interceptions, but the Jets have the playmakers right in front of him on the offense. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, 2 names right there that can help him in big ways. And Garrett Wilson just came off his injury. But I think if he's fully healthy, I think he's going to definitely catch tight balls. We saw his one-hand catches a couple seasons back. And I think he's going to be able to do that again with tight defenses in his face. And then Breece Hall got franchise tag, so he's going to be here for another season guaranteed. And I think if throwing-wise doesn't go well, I think the Jets are going to be ground and pound, baby. And another move, March 10th, defensive back Nahshon Wright, 1 year, 5.5 max deal, Pro Bowler last season. He's a guy that can take the ball away. Take the ball away is going to be a big thing for the Jets to watch out for coming this 2026 NFL season, and another playmaker that the Jets need for this squad. Now, for March 11th, Jets signed kicker Cade York, 1 year deal, and I just am not happy at all. We downsized from a veteran kicker in Nick Folk now to a guy like Cade York. Pretty young guy for the Jets to be taking in here. I think, why did they get rid of Nick Folk? In my opinion, he was the guy for this Jets squad, the guy that was making his kicks left and right. I think he only missed like 1 or 2 kicks last season. And he was a guy that put up 3 points right after right after right. It's just now it's downsizing to a guy like Cade York. He makes his kicks, but I think they need to stick with a guy like a veteran. And I mean, not much else to really talk about this guy, but I guess we'll see what happens. And now offensive lineman Max Mitchell re-signs 1 year deal. This was the first move for the Jets coming their way on the offensive side of things. In this one, I think got to give Max Mitchell a shot. He got injured. He's been pretty inconsistent getting injured. He only played like 17 starts in, I think, 3 years. I think the Jets losing Simpson during the offseason, I think there's going to be spots open for the Jets to slide some new guys in like Mitchell. And you just got to give some of the new guys shots. I think Mitchell and then the guy Dylan Parham, who they also signed. I think he's going to be someone who's going to slide in there. We'll see what happens, though. And also, the Jets re-signed linebacker Michael Walker, 1-year deal, and another star that the Jets have found on the defense. PFF's 8th highest grade linebacker from weeks 14 to 18, 81% of safe special teams snaps. I think he's going to be a guy that consistently plays, and he's going to be someone that right off the bench is going to be able to jump right up, get right in, and he'll find his footsteps immediately. March 13th, the Jets signed offensive tackle Chukwuemeka Ofor. He resigns. He was with the Jets last season, coming back. Another offensive tackle for the Jets to have here. Safety Andre Cisco resigns a 1-year deal up to $5.25 million, and he had a season-ending injury last year. He was signed the year before for free agency, and I think you got to give this guy another shot. We didn't see a lot of him last year since he got injured, but if we see another year of him again, I think he's shown life, and that's all we asked for as Jets fans. Last but certainly not least was March 14th, running back Kene Nwangu. $2 million deal with $1 million fully guaranteed and max value of $3 million. And this is a no-doubter. What a signing by Darren Muji. He is cooking this offseason. So far, this guy, 5 return kickoffs, 4 touchdowns. That's a no-brainer for the Jets to have back. And I'm just lucky as a Jets fan that he is back. What a signing by the Jets, because he's a guy that can constantly return kicks and in decent field position. And I think if Geno's the starter, I think the Jets are going to finally work for touchdowns on possessions. They're not going to go with rain out. I think it's going to be set up in good field position, shop near their own opposite end zone, and it's just going to be something to watch out for on the special team side of things. And I am loving what the Jets are doing so far to start this offseason, and I appreciate you guys all are listening to this podcast. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted as the Jets continue their offseason. It's a lot to talk about, and if I were to rank the Jets based on what I talked about so far, I think I got to give them an A. And definitely looking forward to the draft coming up next month in April, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.